Look, you didn't mess with children, period. No matter who you are, you could have been the worst guy in the world. You could have been Roy DeMeo. You don't mess with kids, period.
Because women do not come up off of good men.
Don't ever violate another man's wife, daughter, sister, mother, niece, whatever. And that goes for anybody, not only a maid guy. It was frowned upon if you fooled around with another man's wife. It wasn't something that was held in high regard. You may not die if the guy wasn't a maid guy, but it was frowned upon by a lot of people. Did some people do it? Of course. But it wasn't something that was accepted in that life. That's a good principle, I believe.
This is Micheal Francheze. He's an ex-mafia boss. And he's just talking about back in the days when they had lived by a code. Yeah, not to mess with somebody's wife, mother, granddaughter, daughter, niece. None of that sort, and especially not children. So he basically talking about what they would have did to Jeffrey Epstein had they knew he was getting down like how he was getting down.
Very good principle. You didn't mess with children. You didn't mess with children, period. No matter who you are, you could have been the worst guy in the world. You could have been Roy DeMeo. We use him because everybody knows him. Okay, you don't mess with kids, period. And that was a principle that everybody had because we all had kids. Every one of us, we had children. And we cared about our kids for the most part. Now you can get individual situations where guys just didn't take care of their kids properly, like everyday life. Okay, we're saying that could have happened. You don't mess with kids. You don't do it. Okay? And to my knowledge, I don't know of anybody in that life that was giving drugs to kids. To my knowledge. Again, don't beat me up. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I don't know. But to my knowledge, I can't point to anybody and say, this guy was giving drugs to young people. I can't say that.
Yeah, it was a time where people lived by code and principles and ethics and morals and values and stuff that they held dear to their heart. Nowadays, it's all out the window. It's a free-for-all. Just do whatever, say whatever, and just see what happens. You know, I mean, it's really pathetic how we live nowadays. You know, and it's, yeah, it was a time where it wasn't like that, you know?
There were guys that were involved with strip clubs, but these were older girls. They weren't young kids. And we didn't tolerate, I know this for a fact, anybody abusing the women that were working for us. I'm not saying that one of us might not have abused, I don't know. But the patrons, no, they didn't get away with it. There was a certain amount of respect for women and a big amount of respect for young people. No doubt about it. So had we known that Jeffrey Epstein was abusing young kids, I can tell you this, most of the guys in that life would have killed him. I would have acted that way. It's
as well as I would have. And I believe anybody in the black community would have did the same thing. You know, if we knew it was a dude like that going around kidnapping kids, we probably would have kidnapped them, tortured them, you know, did all types of stuff to him. Pause. Would have killed his wife too, because she was a part of it. She was grooming and recruiting women too, you know. But he just giving it from a mafia boss, an ex-mafia boss standpoint on what they would have did to Jeffrey Epstein had they had known he was getting down like that.
Despicable. It's disgusting behavior. I'm a father of 5 daughters and granddaughters and a wife. The thought of it gets me sick to my stomach. I wouldn't have associated in any way with Jeffrey Epstein. And those people that associated with him, if they knew what he was doing, that's a real...
Hey, those people that associated with Jeffrey Epstein, they just as guilty as him, if not more, for associating with him. I don't care how much money he had, that shit is despicable. And they all need the death sentence. They all need to be hung. They all need the electric chair. For some of that stuff, that 3 million page document that I didn't even take the time to read, but I did hear the synopsis of it. Man, them people need to be stoned. I'm talking about publicly stoned. These people run our societies and they're getting away with murder.
And let me tell you something. Nobody would have missed Epstein. Nobody. And I got to tell you this too. They might have killed this Ghislaine Maxwell also, because she was the one that was recruiting these young girls. I can tell you this. If a young girl came to me out of the blue during my time in that life, or my father, or Joe Colombo, or John Gotti, or anybody, and said, listen, this guy is abusing me. He abused me. This is what he did to me. And we never even heard of Jeffrey Epstein. I can tell you that the greater percentage of the guys that I just mentioned, they would have followed it up, and Epstein would have been in trouble. Even if we didn't know him and we didn't know the girl. If she was credible, and we found it to be true, we would have went after Epstein regardless. You know, I bring it back to
Yeah, it's a good and evil. It's good and evil right here in this situation, man. Living by a code, having morals, having ethics, and then you just got pure evil. Some of the stuff I heard he was doing, I mean, goddamn. I mean, they literally feasting on human flesh, on kids, drinking adrenochrome. I mean, that's just, if you don't know what that is, you really don't want to know, and I don't want to explain it. But a lot of these people deserve the death penalty, but they just skating on by. I mean, how docile can we be as a people to not, you know, back in the day, they would have came straight to your doorstep, an angry mob. But now it's so much security between them and us. I guess people just like, fuck it. Oh yeah, well, okay. What else new? It's crazy nowadays.
the son of Sam, David Berkowitz. You know who he is. You know, it was a nightmare to people that he killed. Remember, he saw these people on Lover's Lane, or two people sitting in a car, a guy, and he went and shot him. He said it was his dog that was Satan that was telling him to do it. You know, the Son of Sam movie about it, the whole bit. The police actually came to us and said, if you can find this guy, help us. And we were all for it. We didn't want them going around killing innocent people. You know, we didn't do that in that life. We didn't do it. I'm not saying it didn't happen at times, but we didn't go around. Give me evidence of innocent people that got killed in that life. Evidence.
I just want to know, like, when did it become cool for us to do things without principle? When did we go against our principles? I guess, I don't know, I guess if I could pinpoint a time, it was like, I don't know what made it cool. Maybe it was rap music. I mean, just people selling out, you know, just the music industry, the entertainment industry. We just got so just desensitized to violence and like treacherous things. Like nowadays it's cool to snitch, backdoor your homie, hurt women. Now it's cool for women to be involved in gangs, and up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left. This shit is crazy. But I know this thing with Jeffrey Epstein, yeah, this is like, it's off the meters crazy. Cause it ain't no way in hell, ain't none of them doing jail time. And that's just me. I'm just speaking for my own, you know, my own opinion on the situation. But yeah, this Micheal Francheze, ex-mafia boss, talking about what they would have done to Jeffrey Epstein.